Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I am getting ready to change the strings on my Taylor guitar, my acoustic. So I wanted to just hook up the camera and show you guys how to change strings. Now some of you guys will be like, I know how to change strings. But there may be some of y'all that's never changed strings before. Maybe you're a beginner guitar. So I want to take the opportunity show you guys how I change and how I change the strings and how I clean the guitar, things like that. Just some basic, very routine maintenance sort of things. So let me turn the camera here to the guitar. Alright, hope you can see this alright. Now I use the Elixer strings. You can see that very well. The lighting's not too great right there. But I always get the Elixirs. The NanoWeb will sound great for a long time. They're great strings. The Polyweb, they're the same. They sound really good, but they will begin to unravel after a little while, and it looks kind of weird. They just have a weird look to them after they start to wear out. But as you can see on these, they don't look so bad. They actually don't sound bad either. But they are ready to be replaced. I can tell there's a little bit of deadness to them as I'm playing. So say I use the 12 through 53s, so that's what I'm going to be changing. So let me move the camera over here. We can see just a little bit better. All right. Now normally, most of the time, what I will do is do one string at a time, start from the bottom and go up. That way I don't relieve the pressure off of the neck. The neck pressure remains the same, but every once in a while I like to just take them all completely off, clean it up a little bit, and then replace them. So what you'll do basically is just begin to turn these until they're loose and take them off. And once they're loose enough and you can pull them around, you go and pop them out that way. See how right here I'm pulling, I don't know if you can see that very well. Sometimes when you replace your strings, great, so like right here, this string is in the way. You can see this is, so if I pull that back and I put a little bit more tension on it, then the string isn't in the way. And this may be some things that's very, very basic, but if you've never changed strings before, these are just some things that will just kind of help you out. And especially if you don't have a tool, there's a lot of people will use tools to replace their strings. Get a string winder. I know I've never wanted to spend the money on it myself because I just don't see the value in it. I guess if I was changing all the time, if I was, but I don't change my strings that often. I wait until they are almost dead, or I break a string. If I break a string, then usually I'll go ahead and replace the entire set, because I don't want one new string with a bunch of old strings. And you have to make sure that you're actually loosening them. I just began to tighten it. I went the wrong way because I'm standing over top of it. I'm not where I normally am, so my muscle memory here is backwards. See, and that's all you got to do for this part, and we'll just clean this up a little bit, and I'll show you how to take the other side apart here. Alright, now doing this part, you want to make sure you don't scratch your guitar up. Just grab a pair of cheap, I had to go down the garage and get a cheap pair of side cuts, because the ones I normally use, I'm not sure where they are. But if you just put them here, just pry up, then these pegs will come out really easily. You don't want to squeeze. If you squeeze, you will, these are just plastic, so you will break them. You don't want to break them. You just want to barely put your side cuts underneath. just pry up a little bit and they'll come right out. Set all these off to the side somewhere and you take all your strings out. And there we have your unstrung guitar, completely unstrung here. Now we can clean it up a little bit. Just to keep everything clean, I take all of my strings, old strings, and just wind them up this way to where when I put them in the trash can, they're not just out loose. They're easy to keep all together. Now, I have I've been using this thing for years and years. It's the old Pod Piper rag. It's made for cleaning guitars. Now, what I've found is I also do a little bit of woodworking, and this Howard Feed and Wax wood polish and conditioner, it's the orange oil beeswax. This stuff is actually really nice for cleaning this type of guitar. I've never used it on my electrics or anything. I probably would. I mean, that right there is one that I would be cleaning on, but I probably would. But I haven't yet. I've just used regular furniture polish on it. So let's go ahead and clean this up a little bit. And I never want to put this directly on the guitar either. I want to put it on just a little bit on the rag. And always, even though I've done it before and I know it's going to be fine, I always do a little test spot on it first. But I've already done that, so I know it's good. But just kind of clean it up really good and get a lot of this old dirt and sweat and gunk off of it. Just cleans it up really well. Especially right in here in this area. This is where your arm lays on your guitar, and it gets all kind of sweat and stuff on it. Really nasty. Even though I try my best to clean this every time I play it, but I don't clean it with anything. I just kind of wipe it down, wipe it off. But it's not the same as actually putting some type of a polish on it. You can use almost anything. I've used Pledge on these before. Any type of furniture polish will work well. I just happened to say I was do a little bit of woodworking, and I thought, I wonder how this stuff will work on just the guitar itself, and it makes it smell pretty good. It brings out I think it brings out the finish real well as well. So. And it oils the fretboard as well. It makes it really, you can see the difference here. Hopefully you can see the difference here. This is the one I stopped cleaning on. I cleaned all these, just kind of oiled them a little bit. This one I've not done anything with yet. And as we get down here, it gets a lot dirtier, because down here is the general area where I usually play. I don't play a whole lot of stuff on up the neck like I would on an electric. So down here, this is really dirty. I mean, you can see it's just, I'm scratching off dirt and junk right there. All that needs to be cleaned off. But, so we just do the same thing here. We just tip it up and just kind of clean. And just wipe it down. Especially on the top, because like I say, this is the area right here where you're getting sweat and stuff on your guitar, and you want to clean this part up the best that you can. Now, most guitars will get a little bit of belt rash on them. You can see this one has a little bit right here. I don't know if you can see that or not. It has a little bit on it. It's not real bad, but the more you clean it, the better it'll be. The more you polish it, and it's slick. It'll help. But I don't mind some belt rash being on, because that gives it character. I don't want to just damage it, but I don't mind if my guitar gets a little bit of wear on them. You can see right here, there's a lot of wear right here. It's where my pick comes off the strings, and I hit it right there a lot, and it's what it is. It's part of your instrument. It's going to get dinged and scratched up. It's not going to remain perfect, but now you don't have to go through all this every single time you change your strings. I don't. I do try to clean it up a little bit every time I change, but most generally I don't replace my strings all together. I replace one at a time and do the entire set one at a time. But today, just to clean it up really well, that's how I'm doing it today. Saying this is not a deep clean of a guitar. This is just kind of routine maintenance on your guitar. So the first time you have to replace your strings, every few times, or I guess it depends on how often you have to replace them and the environment you're playing. Now this is played primarily at church. Sometimes we will lead worship outside. The environment is a little bit more harsh. But we're not playing in places that's smoke filled and things of that nature. So that type of environment this guitar doesn't see. It's never seen that. I bought this brand new, so it's only been in the studio and in churches. That's where it's generally played. It's seen its day in some fields when we'll go out in the open fields and lead worship, do some things outside, things of that nature, but it's never been in that smoky type of an environment, so I don't have to worry about any of that type of stuff on it. Alright, so the cleaning part's done. This one is really simple to clean because I keep it clean most generally anyway, so you don't really have to go through a whole lot of cleaning process on this guitar because it's generally clean. Alright, so I'm going to start with the number 12. We'll start with the smallest one first. Now, when they come, they're going to come like this, and these things will pop out, and watch your eyes when you take these out. So I always take it out and make sure that it doesn't pop on me. And then I hold this end. You can see that this end right here, if that happens to get your eye, it will hurt. So instead of holding on to this end, which is easy to see, I hold on to the sharp end. And when these strings pop out of here, so when they pop out of there, this piece is the one that I'm concerned about, that when it pops, it just kind of flows out here. Now the other side, you can probably barely see this string. It is very sharp. If one of these are coming at my face, I would rather it be this one rather than this one. So I want to keep a hold of both ends of the string and just lay this down here and keep your face out of the way. Now, this is the part that some people could get a little mixed up if you've never done this before. It's extremely easy. If you've changed strings, then you're watching this video just to watch the video, I guess. But if you've never changed your strings before, then you don't want to just stick it in there and that's it. There's a groove right here where your string will go. So you're going to put your string in, all the way in, put your groove in there, push it down, and then pull your string up and keep pulling it up and just popping it this way and holding down at the same time. I'm going to hold down on this and pull up on it, and say watch the other end of that, make sure you don't hit yourself with that. But when you do that, this is going to seat your string. Then we'll come down to the other end. There's a groove right here where the string needs to be. But you don't need to worry about that just yet. You want to make sure that you're going the correct direction. You don't want to go this way, because then when you tighten your string up, you're putting a lot more pressure towards the outside, and it's going to be it's not going to be right. You want all the strings to wind on the inside of your neck. Now with these strings, where it's a lighter string, I can wrap it around once and go ahead and put it in the hole. You can see that. Wrap it around, put it in the hole here. I'll do this with one hand, as you can see. Grab a hold of it and pull it all the way through. Some guitars only have a notch. This one has an actual hole to put your string through. And with these smaller gauge strings, your lighter gauge strings and your smaller strings, you can easily wrap them a few times. You can have a few wraps on your string and it's not going to harm anything. Now, you want to make sure that before you get it tight, you put this over in the correct notch, in your E notch, and then hold your string out to where this part of the string is over top. You don't want this, as it comes around, you don't want it going underneath. You want it going over top. That way it forces this string down, and it's not going to allow it to come up over top of the pin. Now, I always listen to the pitch of it, so one thing I know it's tightening, and I hear when it loosens back up, because this string is going to want to pop. So you can hear it loosening up already because I'm pulling it tight here. So what I will normally do is hold my finger here while I'm putting the string on. Because I've had these pegs before that would just pop out on you, and then you have to go back and redo everything. So I always hold my finger down and hold my finger down on that peg. If you have another guitar handy, you can listen to one. And know roughly where you need to be. If not, you can always get your tuner out, but I don't really mess with that until it's time. It's just a lot of extra work, basically. So then you want to take your side cuts and trim this off. A lot of people leave them long. I don't like leaving them long. I would rather trim them up where they need to be. Give yourself maybe a ½ inch of play and just cut it off. And then you want to take the rest of your string and wrap it up the same as you did with those old strings. That way they're easier to find if you drop it. It takes up less room in your garbage can if you have a small can, and they're not going to be. I always put mine back inside of the case, so I'm not going to cause myself to stick myself or anything. And I'll do the same thing with these as well. Alright, we'll do the same thing with the rest of them. Number 16's next. Grab a hold of this end, if you can see that. Grab hold of this end, keep a hold of it, and let this thing just pop out the way it just unravels. But you have control of this end. You don't want this, you can't even see that. You don't want this end, which is right there. You don't want that hitting you in the eye. Once again, push it down in, find your groove. I'm going to do the same thing. This one is small enough as well to where I can go ahead and wrap it around once. Pull it somewhat tight and start tightening it up. So a lot of times this will try to flop over top, but if you have this string over top of this string, then it's not going to allow it to, so it's going to lock it in place as you're tightening it down. And my hand is in the way, so you probably can't see it, but you hear that, that's the reason why I hold this down, because when that popped, if I didn't hold it down, that popping could have popped that completely out. So I keep tension on it, keep pressure on it while I'm tightening it down. One little trick you can do too, it's the same thing as when you're tuning. If you don't have your tuner handy and you hold down on the 5th fret, make sure that they're the same pitch. This kind of keeps them roughly in somewhat of a tune while you're stringing it. That way whenever you get finished, it's not going to be in tune, but it will be somewhat close. It's not going to be crazy out. 624. What I'm doing right there is just listening to where, if I put my finger on the part of the string, it should be the same pitch. I'm on the G string, so I'm going to go on the 4th fret and play that, and then listen to what the pitch of the next string is, open. And I kind of tell about how far I need to continue tightening. And that's kind of close there, so I'll leave it there. Again, it doesn't need to be perfect. I'm just trying to get it somewhat close to where when I start tuning it, here in a moment when I get it completely strung, it's not going to be so far out that it is going to be out. But don't get me wrong, it's going to be way out, but it's not going to be as far out. So you find your part of the string, there. Just keep a hold of that one section that you don't want hitting you. And you don't need to put your guitar on a table or a platform like I have here. I have this toolbox set up. I like doing it here, but you don't need this. I've changed them many times just in front of me on the floor or on the couch or whatever. So that's pretty close already. These larger strings tighten up a lot quicker than what the small ones do. So when you're putting the largers on, sometimes you don't need to tighten down as near as much, because they will they'll tighten up a lot quicker than you think. Number 42s. Now this is getting to the point, at least on these strings, on these Elixirs, to where we don't want to wind the tuning peg. We don't want to wind it around the tuning peg. We'll stick it straight through. Bring it down here, I can show you. Alright, so here's your notch. So instead of winding this around like I have all the others, this one's getting almost to it's getting to the point where I can just find my hole and just put it straight through the hole. you don't want to pull it tight because you're not going to have much string left. You do want a wrap or two, even on your larger strings. You want a couple of wraps on it, but these strings are to the point now to where, unless you do it all the time, you don't want to wrap them prematurely. Now what I normally do is leave it a little bit loose and then start my wrap. Now I'm to the point where it's starting to get a little tension on it, so I'll hold pressure once again down on the tuning peg as I tighten. That's pretty close. So I've got one complete wrap on there. That's good enough. I like having a little bit more, but one wrap is fine. A lot of people, they don't like to have very many wraps at all, but my preference is to have at least one. But on the larger strings, it's a little bit harder to judge how many wraps you're going to have on your string, on your peg. Alright, last one, same way. We don't want this thing to pop out on us, so we'll keep a hold of the one end and let the other end come out, so you keep this under control. Do this the same way. Now when I do that, you can't see my face, but I'm looking away because I don't want this piece to be flopping around. So I'm looking away from the guitar and I'm just pulling up on it. We'll come down to this side again so you can see how I'm doing this. Alright, so we'll just put this straight through. And don't pull it tight, because this is the larger string. It's not going to wind near as much as what those smaller strings do. So you want to leave it a little bit, leave it loose, kind of like that right there. As you begin tightening it, it's going to tighten down pretty quick, because you want to leave at least a wrap on here as well. And you want these strings to go below. You want your string to end up seating below your wrap. So if you can see this wrap right here, let's get this camera a little bit closer. All right, you can see where the string here is above the wrap. And that's going to lock that in. It's not going to allow it to come up and slip off of the tuning peg, so, or of the notch. So this string is going to lock this in. So it's the same way on all of them. All these strings are over top, so it locks them in. All right, and as I tighten it down, I'm still holding on to my peg. See how quickly that one tightened up. I'm actually over tightened. Still over tightened. That's pretty close. So you can see how quickly the larger strings tightens up in comparison to the smaller strings. Alright guys, so that's how I restring my Taylor guitar, and just a little video on how to clean it up a little bit. And so to see how I'm going to tune this up, check out the next video. So if this is the type of content you like, make sure you click the like, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and click the bell so you'll be notified when I upload new videos. And while you're at it, head over to robandjen.com. That's where we have all of our music, all of our gear, things of that nature, and our Church Talk channel is on there as well. Links to it, all kind of different merchandise. So if you see something you like, pick it up, helps the channel out, and we'll see you guys next time. God bless.